listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to UppTalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say UppTalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
The Integration Sequence Generator enables your integration to generate a unique sequence file name each time it runs. When a file named Sequence Generator has been configured, the system will ignore the static output file name attribute, which we define here. Our static file name attribute is right here. When you have a sequence generator enabled, it will override this name. To create a sequence generator, select the integration system, configure integration sequence generator, related action. But in order for this to happen, you will not have it in your integration services or integration system for configured sequence generator because it is not enabled in your integration template service. See, it's not showing up here. If we go here and enable the sequence generator service, then we should be able to see worker transaction logs was enabled as well. That's good. Enable this as well. If I go to service, if you remember, when I created that field override, or if I need to pull in a report, or if I need to add additional integration services that are not included in this list, that is something when I use integration system service. If you look at the integration that I created, I have the field override service that I've included in my custom integrations. The worker tenure and it shows in our output as well. And how do we, once we create the integration field override service, we add it to our integration system service from our services. Like you add it here, and let's say you call your field override service that you created. You can call in a report, you can call in a service. Any kind of services that are available integration service. Alright, I'll use it integration again to set up our transaction log, which we've been trying for yesterday as well. Configure integration log. Let's say override default value. Subscribe to all transaction types. And let's look at your attribute and selected version 17 and above, and the version that you're using is 40. Let's try to see if we are able to grab the transaction log as well. Let's see alert. We have not created the sequence that you can do on your own. Let's say add another employee. It's not user profile. Oh, it's from Tweetinic. It's the last successful. Might not give us the transaction log because not enabled field overrides. Field attributes, in fact, in the field attributes, as you would see, these you selected that you want to include in your output qualified data section. And let's say you need to add all these as well. See our output file. We have 0. You would need to go to your feed attributes and add more information about the worker in your services. That you know. I just don't have work qualification data, but the position section and the status section. You can get the position and status data of the worker as well. And then, based on that, it should be able to give you the data and details while tracking changes of the worker. What can you do in integration sequence generators? You can use the following options are available in your integration sequence generators. Like the last number used, last used date. Increment by restart. Every restart based on time zone. Restarted number, adding that it could be zeros or it could be alphabets as well. And you can format the syntax as per your customization, like input days, years, month, hour, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and sequence number. And in addition to that, you can do padding. In addition to that, you can put any kind of name that you want with an extension as well, like .xml, .csv, or however you would like to use it. Now we have been talking about extraction of data from Workday. We did look at our custom report for our options. Our D report definition CF employee data 90 days change. In this report, we created our report content. We enabled the web services on it right here. And then from the report, we can extract this data from Workday through a system with a relevant username, password, authentication parameters. To extract the data using these type of formats through the link, you do need to invoke the XML. You need to get an XSDVSTL. Do you want simple XML, CSV format, RSS format, GData or JSON? Or the old depreciated URL format as well, Workday internal XML. These are called all the Rusty services. You can pull the data from this particular link, say copy URL. Let me put it on a notepad. With this URL, you can pull the data from Workday using your authentication parameters like your username and account. For example, we had assigned SSD sale point. Let me copy this. Let me paste it here. Let's say that's right to pull the data from this link. Let me open the incognito window. When I call this via the web, it will ask me for the username and password. Let's see. It doesn't get me anymore. I added the password for it. It must have changed. I should be able to put a username, password, and accessor reports accordingly in the XML format that I have mentioned here. Another way of doing it is looking at your public web services. These are all the public web services that Workday has created and enabled for us to pull or push data using the API. Let's go to say human resources. And let's have a look at the BOW SDL. The integration system will pull the data. It can pull the data from external parameters. Like it can pull the data from SFTP. It can pull the data from your Amazon cloud storage. Or it can pull the data from a different system as well. Yes, can. But as far as having a data pulled from integration as RAS, no, that's not doable. That's not the approach that you would like to use. If you want to put the RAS, pull it from the report. Or have the integration store the file into an SFTP. And from there you can pull the data as RAS from your external system. Right? Workday is not your storage system. It has to deliver the file somewhere or deliver an output to a location. If I open the public web services for human resources, let's do one thing. Let's go back to our report. Let's create another user. Let's call it ICO sync point. Well, integration system is your user, integration user. Let's put it this way. And you will need to have an integration user set up for your integrations to work. If you're using it internally within your Workday environment, then that's. But if you need to have your integration users being used by integration to send data externally. And for example, if you don't use an integration user and you use your admin account as integration launch user, then one day say your employee or you leave the company, then your account will be disabled. It's always best to use the ISU integration system user coupled integration system group with relevant permission. Alright, we've created this. Here we see the entire public web service for the human resource. As you get more comfortable with XMonal and XTSST and SLT, you should be able to pull this XML or public web service from Workday to get data or to push data, depending on the authenticated user and what level of access do they have. And generally speaking, at the bottom of the whistle, you will find the address location for your web service. As to how you can access it, depending on which tenant you're using. Currently, we're using the implementation tenant. You can see Vue 5 impl and the link to that API. And this human resource service would have all the related data set included in it that are related to human resources. Similarly, you have for identity management, integrations, inventory, finance management, and on. If your partner would like to connect with Workday using public web services to get data or to pull data, you would use this link. Say, payroll, public your web services Vue Vistal or custom Vistal, depending on what you're looking for. When I click on this, it will open up the vessel for it. The public web service and at the bottom of the web service. Come on. At the bottom of the web service, you will find the API link for your web service that you're trying to use or work on with your third-party partner. When they talk about API, you can expose the API via public web services for get input permission, depending on the security group you have assigned and the permissions assigned in it. Whether it has get permissions, it has put permission, it has both. And to what objects within the public web service they can pull or push data into. There you can see W5 implementation services, one Workday CCX3 Trade Payroll version 41.0, whereas over here we had human resource version 41.0. And then you have a list of web services that you can use to communicate with your or interact with your vendors. How these web services are utilized are dependent on the partner that you're working with. How much development they need to do, what interface they're going to use, how are they going to call the web services, how are they going to collect the data, and if you're giving them push permission, how are they going to push? It is an entirely different subject. That is where the API development comes in. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@upptalk.com.